To draw our how to catch a snowflake portraits, we are going to start with drawing a picture of ourselves. I'm going to start with my body. For the body, I am just going to be drawing the shoulders. So I'm going to draw a line that curves up very steep and comes back down. Next, I'm going to draw a scarf. The scarf will wrap around my upper body or shoulders like this, and then the tail of the scarf will hang down like that. If you want to, you could add some extra details to your scarf, like fringe at the bottom or a pattern. I am adding stripes to my pattern. What kind of pattern would you like to add to your scarf? Next, we are going to draw our faces. And for our faces, we will be looking up at the sky with our mouths wide open to catch as many snowflakes as possible. So for the face, I'm going to draw this in pencil first because I'll have to do some erasing. I'm going to draw a circle on top of my shoulders, and then have a little nose sticking up. I'm going to outline this in Sharpie. Just like that. Next, we are going to draw our mouths. Remember, our mouths are going to be big and wide open to catch our snowflakes. Have you ever gone outside during a snowstorm and tried to catch a snowflake in your mouth? Because I know I have. I'm also going to add a tongue, which is a curved rainbow line at the bottom of my mouth. And then for my teeth, I'm going to add a straight line going horizontally, and then vertical lines to show each individual tooth. Okay, now that I have drawn myself, I could go back and add any details I want to. Maybe you want to add something like buttons on your coat. Maybe you want your coat or sweater to have a certain design. That is going to be up to you. And now we are going to use crayons to color in our bodies. Leave the background blank for now because we will be using watercolor to color that. I have all different crayons of different skin colors. Do your best to find one that matches you. You can look through them and pick the crayon you want. I'm going to put this on fast mode while I add my colors. Alrighty, so now we're going to paint our backgrounds. We are going to use a different kind of watercolor today to paint these backgrounds. This is called liquid watercolor, and what it is just watercolor in liquid form. So we have purple and blue. You could use one or the other, or you could use a mixture of both. That's going to be up to you. I am going to use a little bit of both to make my winter sky. You want to be pretty careful because we really don't want to get any paint on your portrait. So when you go around the lines of your portrait, just make sure that you're painting really carefully in that area. If a little bit bleeds onto your portrait, that's okay. We don't have to start it over. Little mistakes happen. You can also get a paper towel and just try and wipe the paint away if it's in a place where you don't want it. You can also ask your teacher to help you wipe that watercolor away if you need some help. When we use these liquid watercolors, the more water you add to the watercolor, the lighter, so the more water that you add, the lighter your color is going to be. The less water you add, the darker it will be. So when I do this for you guys, I will probably mix the watercolors to look a little bit darker. Okay, now that I have my background painted, our finishing touch on this background is salt. And if you haven't done this before, we sprinkle a little bit of salt on top. The salt soaks up the water and makes it look like it's crystallized, just like that. So we are now going to set this aside to dry. Make sure that when you put it to dry, you're putting it totally flat so that the watercolor doesn't run all over. Then when it's dry, we will go ahead and add in some hair and of course, our snowflakes.